Wrapping up this series, Dan Shulman and Pat Tabler, Hazel May here at Rogers Center with the roof open to the ballpark, and the Rays with the best record in the American League at 90-55 and the highest scoring team in baseball on the season. Mike Zunino's .202 average doesn't blow you away, but how about 29 home runs on the season, and how about easily the best OPS in baseball against left-handed pitching? And they will see one of the best lefties in baseball today, Tabby, in Robbie Ray.
Yeah, trying to go a little bit deeper than he did in his last start. This is start number 29 for Robbie Ray. Look at those sparkling numbers. .209 batting average against, 220 strikeouts in 173rd in a third inning. Last time out, just 4 to third versus the Baltimore Orioles, but he's been sterling against the Rays this season.
Ready to go on this Wednesday afternoon, and the pitch comes in a little bit high. Ball one to Randy Arozarena, the left fielder for the Rays. 274, 19 home runs, 1 for 11 with 5 strikeouts in his career against Ray. 4 starts against him this year for Ray. 1 good one, 3 great ones. Nobody's really got numbers on him, and you got to know that he is fired up after not having the kind of outing that he would have liked to have had against Baltimore last time out. But still, the blips, if you even want to call it that, have been few and far between for Ray this year.
He was outstanding against the Rays the last time he faced him, right before the All-Star break. No hitter into the 7th inning with pitches like that last one, just blowing the fastball by him.
Arozarena doing a little walk around behind the batter's box. Ray comes into the game with the best record in the American League, just ahead of Garrett Cole. He is second in innings pitched, just behind Jose Barrios. And second in strikeouts, 4 back of Cole. 1-2 is upstairs at 96, 2-2.
You know, that is a good thing to see, that 96. Robbie's fastball was just a couple of ticks down that last time out against the Baltimore Orioles. They were laying off of his slider. Took him 98 pitches to pitch 4 to third inning. Today looks like he's got a good fastball again.
Slider chopped foul, and still 2-2 on Arozarena. It's not often. This is the 5th series between the Blue Jays and Rays, and Ray has pitched in all of them. It's kind of unusual, given that the series are generally 3 games, that a guy would pitch in each and every one. But Ray and the Rays have seen a whole lot of each other this year. Nelson Cruz a couple of spots away. He's getting ready already.
And people ask me, okay, who has the advantage? Does the pitcher have the advantage facing him for the 5th time, or do the hitters have the advantage? And the simple answer is, if the pitcher's got his good stuff and Robbie has his A game, he has the advantage. There's so much information out there nowadays that hitters know pitchers, pitchers know hitters. He has to execute today to win.
Again, the 2-2, and he got her.
Let's take a look at the defense this afternoon for Charlie Montoyo. Gurriel, Grichuk, and Hernandez in the outfield. Guerrero and Jake Lamb on the corners. Alejandro Kirk behind the plate. And in the middle, Bichette and Semien, they were outstanding in yesterday's game. Gold glove plays in the middle of the diamond. One by Bo, a couple by Marcus Semien. They have been very good lately in the field.
Here's Manuel Margot, the right fielder for the Rays, getting the start on the 2 spot today, and he's got by far the most experience in the Tampa Bay lineup against Robbie Ray, and that goes back to Margot's time with San Diego, Ray's time in Arizona. Saw each other a lot in the National League West. The Blue Jays are kind of playing even with a bag on the corners, backed up the middle here against Margot. He's got pretty good speed as Ray jumps out in front 0-2.
Margot's been a tough out against the Blue Jays this year. He's come up with some big base hits. This is the 3rd time, obviously, they're playing him, 3rd different venue that they've played him. When they played him in Dunedin, and he came up with some big hits against them to help them win that series.
.97, but Margot gets a piece of it to stay alive.
I like that he is establishing his fastball early on. At times, Maybe he was getting a little bit predictable with 2 strikes throwing the slider, and Baltimore was taking it. Today, he's really trying to establish that fastball early on.
Alejandro Kirk behind the plate again with Ray. Swing and a miss. Got another one.
And it's another fastball. He gets rid of a Rosarena with a fastball. And now he's going to take care of Manuel Margot, this time up and away. I like that. Move that fastball around, establish it early, then you can open everything up as you get into this ball game. He's got a good fastball today.
So back-to-back strikeouts for Robbie Ray to begin the afternoon. And now another challenge. This time it is Nelson Cruz, the DH, 31 home runs on the season, split between the Twins and the Rays. Slider in the dirt for ball 1. Cruz has been held in check so far in the series. 1 for 7. The one's a single. The Blue Jays winning on Monday night 8-1. The Rays coming back with a 2-0 win last night. Just the 3rd time this year the Blue Jays have been shut out. 1-0 fastball right on the inside corner. 1-1.
Stay right there. Cruz is an excellent fastball hitter, but I think you have to get the ball up, and I think you have to get it above his hands to get him out with that fastball.
Bounces in another slider. 2 balls and a strike. Slider's been 90, 91. Fastball's been anywhere from 94 all the way up to 97 for Robbie Ray, who is amped up in the early going here today. Such a big game, although of course every game the rest of the way figures to be big for Charlie Montoyo and the Blue Jays. A virtual 3-way tie for the 2 wild card spots right now entering play today. The Blue Jays and the Yankees identical, 81-64 records. The Red Sox 82-65. So 1 more win, 1 more loss. And the Red Sox have a game about an hour from now in Seattle. The Yankees are in Baltimore tonight. 2-2. Not deep. Right center field. Teoscar Hernandez. And it's a 3-up, 3-down. Top of the first for Robbie Ray. Incredible offensive numbers for the last couple of weeks, led by Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who, even though he was 0 for 3 last night, still hitting over 400. He's driven in 26 runs in 14 games in September, and again down there in the 7th spot. The lineup as deep right now as it's been all season.
That is the lineup that will face Michael Wacha, who got off to a rough start this season. Starting pitching especially, has always been the hallmark of the Tampa Bay Rays teams, and this was a team that really needed him to step up. Rich Hill was traded, Tyler Glasnow was hurt, Chris Archer has been in and out of the lineup. Wacha has been much better lately over his last 3 starts. He's given him about 5 innings, 6 innings, and that's what they're looking for.
Big swing and a foul back by George Springer, who, as you can see, has number 21 on his back today, not number 4. It is Roberto Clemente Day, and players and staff who are Puerto Rican or of Puerto Rican descent, or the Roberto Clemente Award nominee, or, as he goes down in a heap, foul ball off. Well, we'll have to wait and see. And it looks like he's shaking it off, got a smile on his face. But boy, everything's got to be hurting for him right now, whether it's the original knee injury, then the foul ball off the knee. And this one went, right off the inside of the left foot.
And he's probably thinking to himself, man, I just start to feel good, and now I've got to deal with another bump and a bruise right now. So the best thing he can do is just laugh it off just a little bit and step back in there against Wacha.
The 0-2. And it's a changeup in the dirt. So for Springer, his mom is Puerto Rican. So again, anybody of Puerto Rican descent can request to wear 21. Actually, from what we understand, anybody can ask to wear 21, and it can be granted. We think Vladimir Guerrero is wearing 21 today. We also believe Bo Bichette is wearing 21 as Springer fouls it off. And of course, Charlie Montoyo, who is from Puerto Rico, Luis Rivera, Hector LeBron, the team interpreter. John Schneider is always 21.
Yeah,
that's his normal number. But there
right.
You see Charlie, and Charlie made a point of saying you know, I don't want my name on the back. I just want 21. It's just about Clemente. And he said if baseball were to ever retire the number 21, he wouldn't want to wear it again, that he thinks it should be totally reserved for Clemente. As Springer sends one into center field, a long run coming in for Brett Phillips to make the play. One down. But this is a tremendously important and prideful day for people in baseball from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and if you ever had a chance to play in Puerto Rico, you know the importance of this day for the players. And Charlie, from there, and the fans, there's a Pittsburgh Pirate hat.
Old school.
From way back.
Yep.
And, you know, they were ribbing each other, Luis Rivera and Charlie Montoyo were ribbing each other today about not getting the T-shirt that Charlie had ordered.
Right.
And Louis like, where's mine? I gave you the $20. Where is it? Let's go. All in fun.
Marcus Semien fouls it off, and it's 1-1. Geddy Lee is in the crowd today, and he is honoring the memory of Roberto Clemente as well. So great to see the representation in the stands and on the field. 2-1 now on Semien. Bounced foul, 2-2.
Michael Wacha gets the start this afternoon, and he's, I don't want to say he has reinvented himself, but he has gone back to the Michael Wacha that we saw when he was with the St. Louis Cardinals. He's always been a fastball changeup kind of guy. And the last couple of years, he's really fell in love with that cutter. Well, that did not work here in Tampa Bay, so he has gone back to that formula: fastball, cutter, slow curveball, mixing in that pitch also, and it has worked out. His last 3 starts have been tremendous.
We'll count on Semien, and it's just high for ball 4. So a man on with a 1 out here in the bottom of the first for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Same routine for Vladdy. First at bat, acknowledges the visiting dugout, pats the umpire on the back, says hello to the catcher. And as you saw, Vladdy's also wearing number 21. And as we mentioned, players, if for whatever reason it mattered to them, if it was whatever their reason was for this being important, they were allowed to ask to wear 21. Vladdy, of course, born in Montreal, but raised in the Dominican. He is not Puerto Rican, but he asked to wear 21, and that's what he's got on his back this afternoon.
There's the changeup right there. Ditched the cutter 3 starts ago. More fastball changeup combo, curveball, using it a little bit more. You got to constantly change against Guerrero. He's so smart at the plate, and I think the Rays understand that.
Laces it to left field, and it's going to be over the head of Arozarena and off the fence. And now Semien's getting the wave, and then they put the brakes on, and he goes back. Another rocket off the bat of Guerrero. This one stays in the ballpark and goes for a double.
The hardest play for an outfielder is that line drive right at you or right over your head. You're just not sure what you should do. Should you turn and run? Do you think it's going to carry all the way out to you? High pitch that he gets on top, and Arozarena is handcuffed. He's 360 feet away, and he is handcuffed by that line drive as it goes over his head. Marcus had some thoughts as he read it coming around second base of scoring, but then the stop sign went up as Arozarena got it back it in quickly.
So second and third with a 1 out, and the Rays are going to bring the infield in here in the first inning against Bo Bichette. And the pitch. Down and away, ball 1.
That looked like the cutter right there. This is where you've got to take advantage of these scoring opportunities for the Blue Jays. They hit the ball hard yesterday. They didn't have much to show for it. But you have to come up with these type of situations when you've got guys in scoring position. You've got to score them in these games.
1-1 now on to Bichette, also with number 21 on his back. He is the club's Roberto Clemente Award nominee for this season for work that he does in the community. Blue Jays looking to jump on Wacha and the Rays early. One and two.
You know, I think one of the things that we have seen the Tampa Bay Ray pitchers do against Bo Bichette is use Bo's aggressiveness against him. When they get to 2 strikes, they've been throwing a lot of balls off the plate. Had some strikeouts in the game the other day, and this is where he's got to be very patient and make sure that pitcher brings it to him.
1-2. Got a change up down and in. You know, we've seen, normally you'll see either elevate the fastball or try to get him to chase a breaking ball down and away. But as you mentioned, Wacha's fastball change up. So it could be fastball up or change up down and in,
yes,
as opposed to breaking ball down and away.
Yes, and unless he throws a bad one just to see if he'll swing at it down and away or the fastball up and away.
1-2 again. Another changeup, and he wallops it to left field, and it's gone. He was all over it. Number 25 on the season for Bichette. 3-0 Blue Jays.
Well, that's how you let that ball come to you. You make sure he gets it in the strike zone and then go attack it. Looks a lot like the home run he hit the other day. Another changeup down and in. That time, the other one, he stayed back long enough and just risked the ball out of the ballpark. Got a little bit more of his body behind this one to give the Blue Jays that 3 quick runs here in the first inning.
So a great start this afternoon and lots of smiles in the third base dugout in the early going. Boy, for a guy 6 foot 185, he packs a punch, doesn't he?
It's all in the wrist. He's got those quick wrists.
And again, we had just talked about Wacha's different than most righties that Bo will see. There's no chase down and away. You know that changeup's down and in, and boy, it looked like almost like Bo knew it was coming.
Well, he had thrown one the pitch before, and you saw how he took it like he was on it, and they came right back with the same pitch, and he smoked it.
And ground ball to first off the bat of Teoscar Hernandez for out number 2.
Talked about the home run the other day that he hit where he went out and got it. Here's the changeup down and in, and that's how you hit it. You got to get the bat there. You can't go out and get it. You let it come to you. You shorten things up. His dad was telling us in spring training about he would pitch to him balls inside to teach him how to clear that front side, that front shoulder on that kind of pitch, just like that. He was listening, and he learned.
So 3-0 Blue Jays. Here is Alejandro Kirk getting another start behind the plate with Robbie Ray on the mound. Kirk swinging the bat well, an 850 OPS on the season. And a quick 0-2 count here. For the Blue Jays, that Bichette home run extends their major league lead. That's their 233rd home run on the season. 15 more than the Giants, who have the second most of the majors.
I think that's more home runs now that they hit in 2015 when they led Major League Baseball in home runs. They had 232. The team record's 257. They're on pace for 261, which would be a team record.
Out of play right side. Boy, they've made Wacha throw 26 pitches already here in the first inning. This guy came up, former first-round pick, came up with the Cardinals in 2013. Had some great years at the beginning of his career. Was with the Mets last year and signed as a free agent with the Rays for this season. Got in on the hands of Kirk, but he fights it off.
Big playoff games too for the Cardinals. Michael Wacha, when he first came up, came right out of college and spent a lot of time down in the minor leagues. He was very polished.
He was the MVP of the National League Championship Series as a rookie in 2013 as a 21-year-old. 2-2.
And he's pitching the same style now that he did when he first came up with the Cardinals. It's always been a good fastball changeup guy, relying on his control with the fastball, mix in the curveball a little bit here and there.
You know, there's a phrase that people in baseball will use, and it's just simply called the hit tool. It means you can put, good bat to ball skill. You can put the bat on the ball. Alejandro Kirk can put the bat on the ball. He can foul off good pitches. He can hit a line drive with the best of them. He's got the hit tool.
Good hand-eye coordination. I wouldn't want to play him in ping pong.
Oh, not here. Got him with a changeup. Strikes him out to end the inning. But it's a good start for the Blue Jays. Their Clemente Award nominee with a 3-run home run to left field, number 25 for Bichette. Like the American League Cy Young Award race is down to these two right now. Maybe a couple of other guys could sneak in, but it really feels like it's down to Garrett Cole and Robbie Ray, whose numbers are so similar in so many categories. Like Ray will probably jump out in front in strikeouts today, and then Cole will overtake him in his next start. It may come down to just who pitches better over the next 2.5 weeks.
You know what's impressive about that? The only two pitchers in the American League with an ERA under 3 and 200 punch-outs. This is the American League East. You're dealing with the DH, small ballparks, loaded lineups, and these two guys have been dominating all season long.
Yandy Diaz with a fly ball to left field. It's deep. Gurriel back. It's off the wall. And Diaz is into second base with a leadoff double.
Yandy Diaz is a lot like Alejandro Kirk, where he can get the bat to the baseball, fastball in, and he's able to short swing that thing and drive it to left field. I thought Gurriel had a shot at it, and if he could catch it off the wall cleanly, he might have been able to hold him to a single. But he gets close to that wall, doesn't go into the glove cleanly, so it'll be a double to lead off the second inning.
3-0 Blue Jays top two. Here's Brandon Lau, the second baseman. This one will get back out of play. Lau hit his 33rd home run of the season in last night's game. That came off Tim Meza in the 8th inning. He's been one of the best players the Rays have had in recent years. He has been an all-star for them. Again, the average is down this year, but the power is way up for Brandon Lau this season.
Just looking to hook balls, even lefties. A lot of times you will see left-handed hitters try to stay on left-handed pitchers a little bit longer to take that breaking ball away from them, but not him. 20% of the balls in play to the left side of the infield. That's it against left-handed pitching. I mean, he's looking to hook the ball.
Bichette's playing him up the middle, almost directly behind the bag at second. Jake Lamb alone really on the left side of the infield. Simeon and Guerrero backed up on the right side. Out of play left side, 1-2.
This is where Robbie can be so dangerous right here. If you're facing him, you can get a leadoff double with that strikeout capability. He can leave him right out there. Lowe's going to try, like I said, try and pull the ball to it, at least advance that runner. But Robbie's got that strikeout stuff. He can go up if he wants to here, or he can try and throw a slider away. And Lau choking up just a little bit, doesn't want to strike out.
Got him with a fastball away for out number one. Third strikeout for Ray already on the afternoon, and that'll bring up Mike Zunino, who's got better numbers against left-handed pitching, Tabby, than anybody in baseball this year, at least in terms of OPS.
Yeah, and he's another one who's just looking for the ball, and he's looking to juice it to left field. Look at that OPS versus left-handers. He doesn't have to worry about that breaking ball away from a right-hander. He can just sit inside. He can sit soft. He can sit like a fastball and just try and yank everything.
Just a .202 average, but 29 home runs on the season. A ton of strikeouts for Zunino. But a very strong guy. When he gets a hold of it, it tends to go a long way.
And it's usually in the air. He's usually trying to get the ball in the air. He's got a very low ground ball rate. He's looking to elevate anything.
Just off the outside corner for ball 2. Boy, nice from a weather perspective, kind of the perfect afternoon, I would think, to go out there and pitch today. 21 degrees, a nice cool breeze, no humidity. So cloudy, but otherwise just perfect. 3-0 the count. Jordan Luplow on deck for Tampa Bay. Green light, and he fouls it back. 3-1.
Yeah, you got a 29 home run hitter up there. You know he's swinging away. 3-0. Look like Robbie's trying to pitch away from his power. His power is down and in. He can handle that ball. Mentioned that he hits a lot of ground balls. You diffuse that by throwing high fastballs. Those are the balls that you usually pop up or hit lazy fly balls with. So he's pitching away from his power.
3-1 slider fouled back, and Rays battled back to a full count. All right, you got two choices, fastball or slider. If you're Robbie Ray and Alejandro Kirk, what do you think?
Number one. What's your best pitch? And he's got a good fastball today. Elevate that fastball right here.
Struck him out. 2 down.
Alejandro Kirk did something really smart here for a young kid. Before that pitch was thrown, he tapped the ground like it was going to be a slider, just in case that runner out at second base might have signaled location and then popped to the outside right there. And here comes the fastball. This is what I'm talking about. Hey, maybe it's going to be a slider. Crosses him up with the fastball. Good job, young man.
So 2 down in the inning, 5 out so far for Ray. 4 of them have been strikeouts. And now Jordan Luplow, the first baseman today, picked up on a deal from Cleveland. Right-handed batter, gives them a platoon bat against lefties. The Rays will strike out a lot, although they have cut down their strikeout rate over the course of the season. They strike out about as often as any team in baseball this year. In spite of the fact they're such a good offensive team, they do it with a bunch of strikeouts in the mix.
They hit their share of home runs. They've got some guys in that lineup who can hit it over the fence. Cruz. We just saw Zunino with 29. Lau with 34.
Yeah.
They got some home run hitters in that lineup.
Yep. Crowd getting noisier. 2-strike pitch. Pulled foul. The Rays, as you mentioned, lead the majors in runs scored, and the numbers have only gone up since Nelson Cruz showed up. They are 6th in the majors in home runs, 7th in the majors in walks. So they get a lot of guys on base. They hit a lot of home runs, and that overcomes the fact that they have struck out the 3rd most of any team in baseball this year.
Earl Weaver said it way back in the 70s, right? Pitching, defense, and 3-run homers.
Oh, 2 again. Slider in and a good pitch, but Luplow wouldn't go after it.
90 miles an hour on that slider. You don't think he's amped today?
First place team, virtual three-way tie for a couple of wild card spots. A lot to be amped up about. Got him. Again, 96 up in the zone. Robbie Ray has 5 strikeouts through 2 innings as he strands the leadoff double by getting Luplow.
For the second straight years, you heard Dan mention, players of Puerto Rican descent are proudly wearing Roberto Clemente's number 21. Now, last year, every Pittsburgh Pirates player wore 21 for the first time since the number was retired back in 1973. And when Blue Jays coach Luis Rivera heard Pittsburgh's Joey Cora would be wearing 21, he initiated a group text among other Puerto Rican coaches and lobbied MLB to be able to don the famed 21 jersey as well. It's such an honor, you have no idea, Rivera told me. When you talk about Hall of Famers, you think Cepeda, Pudge, Edgar Martinez, Alomar, but even they will tell you no one compares to Clemente. He's held so much higher than anyone else. By the way, former Marlins, Mets, and Blue Jay Carlos Delgado, Dan, was the last Puerto Rican-born player to wear 21 for most of his career.
Thank you, Hazel. Great stuff. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. grounds out to begin the bottom of the second. 3-0 Blue Jays. And Charlie Montoyo was more than happy at the beginning of his media session today with all of us in the dugout. As soon as he was asked the first and second and third question about Roberto Clemente, he beamed and a smile on his face, and he was more than happy to tell everybody everything that he knew. And the same for Luis Rivera. We spoke to Luis out on the field for a while today. Clemente's legacy is powerful all these decades later. There's Randal Grichuk hitting one deep in the hole at short. A long throw and a good one from Taylor Walls. 2 down. A Hall of Famer, an MVP, a World Series MVP, exactly 3,000 hits, an incredible outfielder, as good an arm as maybe the game has ever seen in right field, a daring base runner. I mean, he was such a tremendous player in addition to all of the work that he did outside the white lines.
In 1971 World Series, the world finally got to see on national television how good he was in the World Series. His defense, his throwing. I had a coach that was my coach in the Yankee organization who was his coach in the Pirate organization. He would tell me about that throw that he made in the 71 World Series where he went to the line, turned and fired a third. He would have him work on that every day in spring training. That didn't just happen because it happened. It happened because he practiced it and thought about it beforehand. Ed Napoleon, my first manager, worked with Roberto Clemente as an outfielder in the Pirate organization.
Cool. Ball and 2 strikes on Jake Lamb with a couple down here in the bottom of the second. Roberto Clemente Day on the bases. Every player wearing a patch, some wearing his number on their jersey as Wacha makes quick work of the bottom of the order. 6 pitches to get the Blue Jays in order. 3-0 Jays at the end of 2. In the playoff hunt, of course, as the starting pitching has been so good this year, especially say over the last 2.5, 3 months, where it's been among the best in baseball. Look at the difference in ERA from last year to this year. They're getting a lot of innings out of guys. They got a Cy Young contender and Robbie Ray, a great pickup, and Jose Barrios, the arrival and emergence of Alek Manoah, and so on as they take a 3-0 lead to the top of the third. And now the inevitable conversations begin internally for the Blue Jays as Taylor Walls leads off the third for Tampa Bay about how to line things up for the rest of the regular season in order to have things the way that you want them. And that, even though this is not something that is said out loud, that has to take into account the possibility of being in the wild card game on Tuesday, October the 5th. And nobody wants to tempt the baseball gods by saying that, but you got a plan. And one way you can move things around is when you've got an off day, and they've got an off day tomorrow. So the Blue Jays have announced that Friday, Hyun-Jin Ryu will pitch against the Twins. Saturday, Steven Matz. Sunday, if they stay on rotation, should be Alek Manoah's day. But Manoah is showing up as TBA Sunday in the official Blue Jay game notes. So they are not committed to Manoah. Ground ball down to third, right at Lamb. And Wall's retired. And this is not a knock on Manoah. So if it's TBA, maybe it's Manoah, maybe it's Berríos, who apparently came through a throwing session playing catch okay today, and there's not a ton of concern, and they think he could make his next start. But to me, it starts with this guy. It starts with Robbie Ray. You want to get him in the Yankee series, and you want to have him lined up for whatever you deem to be the most important game. Is that the last Sunday of the regular season? Is that the Tuesday in the wild card game? And right now, if they just keep rolling them, it's not going to work. So they've got to make some changes. They've got to skip a guy, push a guy back a little bit. So maybe Manoah just slides behind Berríos and Ray, and that lines it up a little bit better. They've got another off day in the last day of the regular season, and there are multiple ways they can do it. The point is they're starting to think about it now.
Yeah, and with Robbie Ray, he likes to, the first thing they have to think about, he likes to stay every fifth day. He has made a point of that, saying that's how I like it, that's what I want to do, and of course they're going to accommodate him.
He just overmatched Brett Phillips. If they keep Ray on every fifth day, as you get another look at the fastball, boy, he's been overpowering hitters with the fastball. If they keep him every fifth day, not every fifth game, every fifth day.
Right.
So today's the 15th. He starts the 20th, the 25th, the 30th. The 30th is in the Yankee series, and then October the 5th is the wild card game. So, again, that's just one way they can do it. Is now Ray has taken over the major league lead in strikeouts. And again, this is not to tempt fate, but every team in a playoff race is thinking about this kind of thing at this point of the season.
And if you thought pitching coaches worked hard during the season, the last couple weeks of the regular season, if your team has a chance, Pete Walker says they have 4 or 5 different scenarios that they're working on right now in 4 or 5 different ways that they could get into the playoffs or not into the playoffs. So they are really working overtime.
Teoscar Hernandez crosses into foul territory and makes the catch, and it's another very good inning for Robbie Ray. All 2021 postseason games today with the purchase of 2022 season tickets. Visit BlueJays.com/season tickets for more details. And a little ice cream out of a batting helmet. Can't go wrong with that either. Nice day here at the ballpark. Early 3-0 lead for the Blue Jays. And top of the order, George Springer takes a strike from Michael Wacha. And we will keep you posted on the Red Sox and the Mariners. Boston winning last night. That game's getting underway in about 15 minutes. The Yankees and the Orioles tonight on Sportsnet, 7 o'clock Eastern. And the 3 teams in a virtual tie. Fun.
Oh, it is fun. I don't want to try and figure out who's playing who if they do end up being tied.
No, we're not going
there. I'm not going there.
We'll go there last week of the regular season. How's that?
How about the last day?
Okay.
Okay. The further I have to not think about it right now, just win.
Yeah.
Right? Just, if you're the Blue Jays, just think about today's game and what you have to do to win it.
But Seattle and Oakland still hanging around, but Seattle 3 back, Oakland 3.5 back right now. They've got a bunch of games left with one another.
7 of them. 7 of them against each other. A 4-gamer and a 3-game series. So they're going to be going at each other. And that's exactly what you're talking about right there.
Blue Jays have 3 with the Yankees. The Red Sox have 3 with the Yankees. The Red Sox and Blue Jays don't play anymore. The Yankees-Jays series opens up the last homestand of the season. Swing and a miss, and Springer down on strikes, 1 down. Now a message from DoorDash.
Enjoy $0 delivery fees for your first month with DoorDash, official on-demand delivery platform for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Charlie Montoyo proudly wearing number 21 on his jersey today and enjoying an early 3-0 lead for the Blue Jays. It started with Marcus Semien drawing a 1-out walk back in the first. Then Vladimir Guerrero doubled off the left field fence, and then Bo Bichette hit one over the left field fence for his 25th home run of the season.
It can start anywhere with this team. It can start 2 outs, nobody on, and they just like that. You can see a 4 spot put on that board. That is how this offense has been working all season long. And you're at the top of the lineup. Blue Jays have their best hitters coming up.
It's softly to right field, and he's going to drop it in there for a base hit.
Well, that's how you do it. Right there, get it started with a soft single to right field. That makes up for all those line drives that they caught this year against Marcus Semien. The Blue Jays were shut out just for the 3rd time last night, fused to Major League Baseball. They struck quickly, and they're looking to do the same thing. Serve that one to right field.
So a man on for Guerrero. Doubled and scored in the first. And that looked like a cutter there, the pitch that Wacha's not been throwing a lot of, and he missed down and away for ball 1.
He's thrown a couple of them today. I asked Kevin Cash this morning, I said, describe to me what that home run looked like he hit in the All-Star game. Kevin was the manager of the American League All-Star team, and he had one word: breathtaking was the word that he used, that home run that Vladimir Guerrero hit.
Bounced it foul up the third base side, 1-1.
Kevin had a lot of nice things to say about the Blue Jay players, managing them in the All-Star game. He said they're great players, and he said the one guy who doesn't get noticed is Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah,
he said, I'll put his numbers up against anybody.
Yeah, we talked a lot about him with Kevin Cash today, and he talked about the experience of managing the 4 Blue Jay players in the All-Star game and how much he enjoyed it, and how obvious it was to him the closeness in the group of all the Blue Jay All-Stars. Rays on their way to the postseason again. Best record in the league. 9-game lead in the division. This one is lined to left center field, and it's off the wall on a bounce. Semien's going to be held at third. Another ringing double for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
He also said one more thing, Dan, and you were there. He said on that field of all the All-Stars during batting practice, you've got the best of the best. And they were taking batting practice. Vladimir Guerrero's sound off the bat was better than anybody on that field. This shows you why. That was a missile to left center field. Marcus was thinking about scoring because it was hit so hard. He covered that thing, created a lot of backspin, and got it off the wall on one hop.
Almost 117 miles an hour off the bat. It's the 73rd batted ball for Vladdy this year at 110 or higher. Second in baseball is Giancarlo Stanton at 65. It is just, you know, you run out of adjectives. Incredible, remarkable. He's 22, and in any other year, and he still might win it, but in any other year other than when we're seeing a once-in-a-century Ohtani hitter-pitcher kind of combo platter, in any other year, he's the favorite right now.
Well, let's see what happens over the last couple of weeks of the season. But he's making a serious bid for it, and that's what I mean about the different sound off the bat. That just has a different sound.
Yeah. So same situation for Bichette as it was back in the first. Second and third, one out, infield in. Bo hit a 3-run homer his first time up. Swing and a miss at a fastball up and away. You think Wacha throws him another changeup after Bo hit a changeup out last time?
I found it interesting that the pitching coach went out there to talk to him. I think they're changing the way they're going to pitch to him. Maybe up, maybe away, and it's up.
Fly ball to right. This will be deep enough to get a run home. Semien will tag and score. Vladdy will tag and come to third, 4-0.
Yeah, no more change-ups for you. You hit a couple of them out in this series to left field. So let's change our approach, but Bo is waiting for it and ready for it. High fastball. He drives in his 4th run of the afternoon already.
That gives him 92 runs driven in this season. Blue Jays might wind up with 4 players driving in 100 runs. Guerrero and Teoscar are already over 100. Semien's at 94. And Bichette's now at 92. So Guerrero at third, 2 down for Teoscar Hernandez. Swing and a miss at a change, 0-1. You know, the other thing that shows you how hard Vladdy hit that ball is that Semien, who runs very well, I mean, there was no thought of sending him.
Yeah.
That ball got to the fence and they got it back in quickly. But I mean, you know, how many times has he blooped in a hit versus hard outs? He's got a lot more hard outs than bloop hits. He just hits the ball. He's right up there in Stanton Judge territory in terms of exit velocity, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Hernandez strikes out to win the inning. If you don't believe us, listen for the sound on this. Vladdy's 2nd double of the afternoon.
That's loud.
Bo Bichette is a Blue Jays nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award, the annual award handed out during the World Series, given to a player who best represents the game through extraordinary character, community involvement, philanthropy, and positive contributions. In the offseason at his home in St. Petersburg, Bichette serves his community at a local shelter, distributing food, clothing, and blankets to the homeless population. Here in Toronto, Bichette donated care packages to Sunnybrook Hospital after hearing a staff member died of COVID-19. These personal acts of kindness highlight Bichette's selfless side and generosity. And fans, you can vote for Bichette right now. Just visit MLB.com/Clemente21 to learn more. Dan.
Thank you, Hazel, and a great job by Bo Bichette. And yesterday I was asking around a little bit about why is he the nominee, what does he do, and got some of the same responses, some of the same information that Hazel just gave. But a couple of people told me, and they said, you know what, he never even tells us, meaning the team, about it. It's just something he wants to do. He arranges it himself. He does it quietly. It's not about getting attention for it. It's just about helping others. A shot past a diving Lamb down at third, and Manuel Margot is on his way into second base with a leadoff double here in the 4th.
Robbie went in there with the fastball for strike 1 and then tried to go back in there. I told you this guy has been tough against the Blue Jays this season. He's come up with some big base hits, 4-seam fastball in. He's able to keep that ball fair. Jake Lamb, the third baseman, was playing in. You can see him right on the dirt, and it gets by him for extra bases.
Well, in the 2nd inning, the Rays had a leadoff double. It was Yandy Diaz, and then Robbie Ray struck out the next 3 batters. He's got 6 strikeouts through 3. Here's Nelson Cruz. Cruz with a fly ball to right field in his first at bat. Play him slightly to pull in the infield and a little bit around to the opposite field in the outfield. So a pretty good gap at left center right now for the right-hand hitting Cruz. Kind of standard stuff these days, the way that a lot of hitters hit. Wow. I mean, Ray can get in there, but Cruz can still turn on it, can he?
Yeah, absolutely. At 41 years old, he has lost nothing. Him in the middle of the lineup gives them a different look, doesn't it? I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Rays offense. Just a different look. He's at any time can knock the ball out of the ballpark consistently. And he's right-handed. They've got a lot of left-handed thumpers. but they needed somebody right-handed, and he just makes it look different, more dangerous.
I'm looking at their team from last year, when keep in mind they went to the World Series, and their most common number 3 hitter last year was Yandy Diaz. No disrespect to Yandy Diaz, but he's not Nelson Cruz. All right, you're right. This gives them a totally different look than the Rays teams we've all come to know in recent years.
And you've heard that phrase before, he makes everybody around them better. I think he's that kind of guy also. The guy ahead of him becomes a little bit more dangerous. You got to pitch to him a little bit differently. The guy behind him becomes a little bit more dangerous. You have to pitch him a little bit differently so that one guy can transform a whole lineup.
Swing and a miss to get him. Number 7 already for Robbie Ray. A great slider there. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet, presented by TD, and you're watching Robbie Ray do the kinds of things that he's been doing all season long.
We've talked about the great fastball that he has today. I think he's got a great slider too. I mean, that thing is bending at the plate. He and Alejandro Kirk working together again. It's got a lot of movement to it today.
Now here's Diaz. He doubled his first time up. Runner is going on the pitch down and in, and Margot will steal third without a throw.
Nelson Cruz could not advance him with the strikeout, so they got to take advantage of this strikeout. I don't know if Kirk had the grip on it or if Lamb was there. Lamb had to play deep because of the right-handed hitter. So Margot picked up on that, picked up his 13th stolen base.
So runner at third, 1 out, 4-0 Blue Jays in the 4th. And it's popped up in foul territory. Kirk's got to play. 2 down.
This guy is 22 years old, Dan, behind the plate, was an A-ball last year, recognized that the ball was popped up, and his reaction is like a guy who's played 10 years in the big leagues. He pointed to Robbie Ray and said, get the plate on this pop-up. I'll go get the pop-up, you get the plate. Watch Alejandro Kirk. When the ball goes up, he tells Robbie, go get the plate. That's advanced.
You know, people around the team are starting to say he's come a long way. He's not the same guy defensively that he was earlier this year. And, you know, again, he totally skipped a couple of levels of baseball last year coming to the big leagues. Again, very young, he's younger than Guerrero, younger than Bichette, and he's getting a lot of playing time right now.
His bat got him here, but his improved defense is going to keep him here. You know, you got so much on your mind when you pop the ball up, get rid of the mask, but he has the wherewithal to make sure the plate is covered.
Yeah,
and he
great.
tells his pitcher to go there. And Vladdy was going there too. I was watching him too. He was very aware on that play too.
And I said actually he's younger than Vladdy. He's actually a few months older than Vladdy. So Bichette's 23. Kirk and Guerrero are both 22, but Kirk's actually a little bit older. But you're right. You've got to be a take charge guy as a catcher, and he's not the most vocal guy. We've been around him down on the field in the dugout before game when he's doing his thing. He's not a big talker, but you got to be a take charge guy in that position, and he made a very smart play there. Pete Walker watching Robbie Ray pitch in the 4th here against Tampa Bay. 4-0 Blue Jays. Runner at third, 2 down. And this one sliced foul. 2-2 now on Brandon Lau. And now the Blue Jays go into a shift just on this pitch when it gets to a 2-strike count. So obviously their information says in a 2-strike count, Lau is more likely to pull a ground ball than earlier in the at bat. Doesn't matter if you strike him out. 4 scoreless innings for Ray, 8 strikeouts already. Sales are being combined for this homestand. Buy your tickets now, and you'll be eligible to win exclusive early bird prizes plus the mega jackpot, which is $71,000 and climbing. Get your tickets now. Go to BlueJays.com/50/50, and it's going to keep growing. This will go through the Minnesota series on the weekend. Here's Kirk leading off bottom of the 4th. And a ground ball deep in the hole. Walls long throw, and they still get him. A great play by Walls, and obviously Kirk doesn't run well at all, and they still get him by a half step.
Walls has a great arm. He's playing because Wander Franco, their wonder kid, is on the injured list right now. But Taylor Walls can pick it with the best of them. We saw that when he came up back in May. He gets to the ground, gets up, plenty of arm strength. That's all arm strength across the infield on one hop. Takes a hit away from Alejandro Kirk.
Great play by Walls. 1 down, bottom 4, and here's Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Curveball in there for a strike.
He will use that with a little bit more regularity to go along with the changeup in the fastball.
Threw him another one, and it's 0-2. Line to right, and the sinking liner is caught by Margot. 2 down.
Is the all-new 2022 Honda Civic finally here? Yes. See more at honda.ca.
Beautiful mid-September afternoon in Toronto with the Blue Jays up 4-0, bottom 4 on the Rays. Bo Bichette's driven in all 4 runs today on a 3-run homer and a sacrifice fly. Randal Grichuk with a ground out to short his first time up. Randal not playing every day, but still has been hot the last 10 days or so. He's 11 for his last 24. And that's, again, with Kirk hot and Gurriel hot and Grichuk swinging the bat well. That's why the lineup is probably as deep right now as it's been all season.
Yeah, you create that depth, and guys get their proper rest, and they want to hit, and they want to tell their coach, hey, keep me in there. I want to keep playing.
Foul ball down the left field line. Still 0-2 on Grichuk.
Blue Jays are a little bit deeper right now, I think, because the rosters are expanded, obviously, but they've got a few guys now on that bench that can come off the bench and help you win games. Dickerson today is not starting. Valera has had a very good September so far for the Blue Jays. Well, they got some guys on that bench who can help you.
Well, we mentioned the Red Sox have an afternoon game against Seattle, and Hunter Renfroe has homered in the top of the first. Boston with a very early 1-0 lead in the Mariners. Again, the Blue Jays, Yankees, and Red Sox in a virtual tie for the 2 wild card spots. Red Sox just a percentage point or so ahead. They've got 1 more win, 1 more loss than the Blue Jays and the Yankees do. Grichuk grounds out to end the inning. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update here on Jamie and Joe. To a game and enjoy a safe, socially distanced game experience. Visit BlueJays.com/suites to purchase one today. Lots of fun in the ballpark this afternoon. Roof open. Blue Jays up 4-0, going top 5. Try to take the series from the Rays and to make sure they are no worse off than a 3-way tie for the 2 wild card spots. Off day for the Blue Jays tomorrow, and then they will get their first look all season at the Minnesota Twins. Crazy that they have not played the Twins. They'll play them here this weekend and in Minnesota. Woo! Next weekend. Well done.
Pay attention. Here comes a rocket. Pickett.
Wow.
That away.
Never in doubt. Little pose at the end. Yeah. Acts like he's been there before, right? Doesn't oversell it. Had it all the way. Mike Zunino. Foul ball knocks the mask right off of Alejandro Kirk. And the home plate umpire, Jeremy Rehak, is going to give Kirk a little bit of time to make sure that he's okay.
Yeah, hopefully it just hit the bottom there and popped it off. No, it hit him right in the middle of the face mask. You can see from his reaction on that one that one stung him right in the face mask, and you get knocked backwards. Takes you a couple of minutes to shake it off.
One, two. And that slider got a little bit more of the plate than Ray wanted, than Kirk wanted. 2 strike sliders from Robbie Ray, generally down and in towards the back foot, if you will, of the right-handed batters. That one caught a lot of the plate. See if they come right back with it. Bounced it in. 2-2.
Yeah, overthrew that one. Zunino struck out swinging his first time. He challenged him. Robbie, you can tell, has had his A stuff already. 8 strikeouts, and we're in the 5th.
Slider high. 3-2. Looks like he's got a lot of respect for Mike Zunino's ability to hit a fastball, but he struck him out on a fastball the first
high
time.
fastball.
Right? Yeah. Slider hit in the air to left field. Going back, Gurriel, and it's gone. A fly ball that was in the air forever and went out of the ballpark for Mike Zunino's 30th home run of the season. Boy, off the bat, and Ray's got the same look on his face. Off the bat, I thought that was a routine fly ball to left.
Me too. Me too. I thought it was going to be just a fly ball. Maybe it's going to make it to the warning track in left field. But Zunino gets it up in the air. Slider, 3rd in a row. That allows him to catch the ball out in front. And you can see from his eye level there, he's looking straight up in the air. Somehow that left the ballpark. Three-two slider. Look how high this thing is. Way up there. But it kept carrying and carrying. And Lourdes can't get to it. Robbie can't believe it. Look at that look.
45 degrees launch angle, which is like sky high for a home run. 0-2 now the count on Jordan Luplow. He struck out his first time up. So the Rays are on the board. It is now Blue Jays 4, Rays 1 here in the 5th inning. Upstairs, a ball and 2 strikes. Wonder if he thought it was out.
No, I don't think he did. I mean, judging by how he was looking at it, he's probably hit plenty of balls like that.
Now fly ball to shallow left. In comes Gurriel. Luplow retired for the first out. Ray still looks a little frustrated after that one, but I mean, he is pitching well. Zunino got him, though. Number 30 on the season for Zunino, but the Blue Jays still up by 3 here in the middle innings.
That adds to the total of the Tampa Bay Rays. That's 36 home runs now that they have gotten from their catchers. The most in baseball. Second, Kansas City Royals. Now, I know Salvi's got 42, I believe, but this is just as catchers. Tampa Bay leads the world in home runs.
Taylor Walls, the switch-hitting rookie shortstop, grounded out his first time up. Fastball at the belt, and it's 1-1. You mentioned Wander Franco, the 20-year-old budding star for the Rays, on the injured list with a hamstring issue. Not sure the Blue Jays will see him next week. Sounds like he'll be back before the end of the season, but he might not be there in time for when the Blue Jays get to the Trop next week.
Yeah, the hope is let him get ready, and they don't think it's going to be that bad. So he can play the last week of the regular season and get him game ready for the playoffs. Kevin Cash said, you know, it's a hamstring thing, but we don't think it's that bad.
1-2 slider in there for strike 3 called.
Get league-leading savings during Home Hardware's Fall Savings Sale. On now until September 22nd, only at Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
9 strikeouts now for Robbie Ray. That was the first called strike 3 today. And now here is Brett Phillips. 4-1 Blue Jays in the 5th inning. Phillips struck out on 3 fastballs his first time up, as he fouls one up above us into the 500 level here at the ballpark. Phillips a good defender, good speed, a little more pop this year than maybe was expected. Has not hit for much of an average. Oh, and 2.
Were you doing the game when he got the game-winning hit in the World Series? Well, that was pretty special, wasn't it?
That was Crazy Town was what that was. That was the craziest. Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I love characters like that in baseball.
He is character. Got a great laugh, good personality, and he was kind of last man on the bench, but fate found him. He drives one to right center field, going to stay in the yard for Teoscar. And the side is retired to the bottom of the 5th. 4-1 Blue Jays.
Drove 2 hours to see him run a baseball clinic in San Juan. The clinic was rained out, but Clemente stuck around to meet all the kids. I was in awe when I saw him. Montoyo told me he was our hero. When he heard news of Clemente's plane crash in 1972, Montoyo said just about everyone traveled to San Juan in hopes of finding him. Every Puerto Rican worships having 21 on their back. We are so proud of him. I want to follow in his footsteps. Montoyo got choked up when he said, I hope baseball retires his number. Dan.
And you can make a case for it. Obviously, 42, Jackie Robinson retired around baseball, and I think there are a lot of people who would love to see 21 retired as well.
Watched him play, Roberto Clemente. He could do everything on the field. Played his last game in Cincinnati against the Reds, 1972 playoffs.
There's a one-hopper for the second baseman Lau, and Jake Lamb is retired for the first out here in the bottom of the 5th. Blue Jays up 4-1. Top of the order, George Springer facing Michael Wacha. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet, presented by TD. And Springer takes a curveball up above the zone for ball 1. Fastball there, 1-1.
Infield playing him to pull. There's 21% of the balls in play to the right side of the field against right-handed batters. I mean, he's looking to yank anything
to center field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. A 1-out single for Springer, with the guys who have been getting it done coming up right now. And you know what? He's had a tough year, and he's banged up now, and he's playing through it, and good to see him smiling.
Yeah, and the guys were getting on him a little bit. That ball got in on him, and he just fisted it into center field. So you can laugh about it's base hit.
Now Semien, who has walked and scored and singled and scored. Liner to left. And charging in to make the catch, Randy Arozarena. 2 down, Springer back to first.
Blue Jays hit a lot of balls hard yesterday that resulted in really nothing. They're right at the outfielders, right at the infielders. Arozarena got a good break on that one. I thought it might pop out when he hit the ground right there, but he's able to squeeze the glove and hold it. As a hitter, you can't worry about hitting the ball hard. Just keep doing what you're doing. You can't guide it after you hit it. And Marcus hit that one hard.
Well, speaking of hitting the ball hard, here's Vladdy. 2 doubles today. Guerrero leads the American League in batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage, OPS, home runs. I'm sure I'm leaving a few out.
Smiles.
I think
Jokes?
Teoscar's got him by a little bit. I think Vladdy's second there. But it's close. It could go either way. Upstairs, 1-1. And, you know, he had whatever it was, a great 3.5 months, and then he had that little 3-4 week dip. And it wasn't like he was bad or anything. He just wasn't doing it like he was doing it before. But whatever it was, he has come out of it. And it looks like he's going to finish the season very strong and wind up with incredible numbers.
You play every day. It's a grind every single day. You get into September, you start to wear down. Then there's an off day, or one day you wake up and the next thing you feel 100% again. And the bat speed is back. I noticed that that last homestand when he started getting hot again, hey, the bat speed is back. You start throwing him inside, he was jamming himself before, trying to create some power, trying to create some bat speed, but now it's back and ball's flying off of his bat now.
The 1-2. A change up in the dirt. 2-2 on Guerrero. Springer at first, 2 down. And he went with a breaking ball, missed down and away. Now 3-2, which means Springer will be on the move on the pitch.
You know, he's such a good breaking ball hitter. You got to be careful with that breaking ball. In this league, you got to throw a strike the ball breaking ball to get good hitters out. They just don't swing at it. Vladdy's hit 14 home runs on breaking balls versus right-handed pitching this year. And he's such a good breaking ball hitter.
Runner goes, and it's ball 4. Bounces away from Zunino. Springer's going to make the turn. Safe at third.
Hey, always think about taking the extra base. George Springer has done that. We saw it yesterday, stretching that single into a double. He's off on the pitch, not taking anything for granted. He takes off, and he's going to challenge Mike Zunino, who has a good arm, and he goes first to third on the walk and the wild pitch with the dive into third base, forcing him to get him out. That thing is offline by a little bit, goes down the line. It's another run for the Blue Jays.
So it's runners on the corners for Bo Bichette, who has driven in all 4 runs for the Blue Jays today. 3-run homer and a sac fly. Lays off an outside fastball, ball 1. The home run came on a down and in changeup. The sac fly came on a fastball up. Changeup, swing and a miss, 1-1. Up the middle. Bichette hustling down the line, beats it out for an infield hit. And he's now driven in 5 runs on the afternoon.
And George Springer's base running gets the Blue Jays another run. That aggressive attitude, that's what that man brings to this team. Yeah, he could have stopped at second base and just conceded second base on that wild pitch to Vladdy, but he goes first to third. And he gets another RBI for his teammate Bo Bichette. Fights that ball off, muscles it up the middle. They weren't going to get Guerrero at second. The only play was at first base, and Bo gets himself an infield hit. Lau can't get enough on that throw, and Blue Jays get that run right back.
5-1, bottom 5. Couple of men on now for Teoscar Hernandez, 0 for 2. To center field. This ball's going to drop. Vladdy around third and in to score. RBI single Hernandez. It's 6-1.
It is such a tough lineup to navigate your way through. Just when you think you have a plan how you're going to get them out, Blue Jays change up on you. Breaking ball. Teo stays on it. That's where he's at his best. Back through the middle or to right field. Clutches up with 2 outs to score Vladdy with another run.
Now Alejandro Kirk. Kirk has struck out and grounded out so far today. 6 runs on 7 hits now for the Blue Jays. Bo Bichette is tied a career high with 5 runs driven in today. 1-1. And it's the left-hander Adam Conley up in the bullpen for the Rays. He appeared in Monday night's game. Springer and Vladdy. Still some heavy breathing after running around the bases. 6-1 Blue Jays. Called strike, 1-2.
Absolutely love the aggressiveness on the bench. You talk to some of the Blue Jay people and you say, hey, what does George Springer bring to this team? It's that attitude. And when he wasn't playing, he was always trying to help the teammates, being on the bench, talking about hitting, talking about defense. He's meant a lot to this team.
Bouncer to third, and the force at third to end the inning. But the Blue Jays tack on a couple and now lead 6-1. Game, and that's what the Blue Jays have today with the roof open here at Rogers Center, and they are playing well. 6-1 as we welcome you back into the broadcast booth here with the ballpark. Dan Shulman and Pat Tabler, and a pretty nice combination. The bats are going, And Robbie Ray's doing his thing on the mound.
Yeah, let's start with the bats. They're having great at-bats against Michael Wacha, taking those pitches the other way if they have to. Great plate coverage, coming up with some clutch hits. And on the Rays side, this is the Robbie Ray we have seen all season long. This is the kind of stuff that he had right before the All-Star break when he pitched a no-hitter into the 7th inning against this same Tampa Bay Ray team. Excellent fastball, excellent slider, filling up the strike zone. No walks, 5 innings, 9 punch-outs on 73 pitches through 5.
Red Sox are now up 3-0 on Seattle. The Mariners batting in the bottom of the 2nd, and the Yankees and Orioles later tonight. Got to keep winning. Top of the order, Randy Arozarena will lead off the 6th against Robbie Ray. Arozarena 0 for 2, including one of the 9 strikeouts that Ray has so far. 8 of the 9 hitters in the Tampa Bay lineup have struck out. Each of them has hit only twice, and 8 of the 9 have struck out. The only guy who has not struck out is Yandy Diaz. Brandon Lau has struck out twice. Pulled foul, 1-2.
I think that broke his bat right there. Robbie Ray has maintained his fastball. He has maintained his stuff because of a great workout regimen that he does, and he did in the off season to prepare for this season. He has kept it right through working out. That's why he wants to stay every 5th day. He has a certain routine that he wants to stay on in between his starts, and that's how he maintains his strength. A lot of leg work and a lot of weight work to keep that lower half firm.
Again, a nasty down and in slider. Strikeout number 10. Folks, you want to see this team in person? Watch the Blue Jays live here at the ballpark as they pursue a spot in the postseason. Single game tickets for all remaining 2021 games are on sale now. Visit BlueJays.com for tickets. You get an off day tomorrow. The Twins in town over the weekend. Blue Jays then out on the road to play Tampa Bay and Minnesota, and then they come back for the final week of the regular season. 3 with the Yankees, 3 with the Orioles. What do you think those games against the Yankees are
That's going to be something. It might be the season, I think, for the Blue Jays.
Yeah. You know, the Red Sox they've gone through a widespread COVID outbreak, and they've weathered it pretty well in terms of wins and losses. They've held their own. And again, they're in a virtual tie right now with the Blue Jays and the Yankees. And Boston has an easy finishing schedule. You've got it all laid out there, so I'll let you get to it.
When they come back from Seattle, 3 against Baltimore at home, 2 against the Mets, 3 against the Yankees. That's going to be a big one. Then they finish on the road, 6 games at Baltimore, at Washington.
Right.
So that's going to be, you got to assume that they are going to finish strong.
So they'll be playing Baltimore while the Blue Jays are playing the Yankees. And then
yes.
In the final week of the regular season. So, I mean, those games, I think the off day's on the Monday for the Blue Jays. So it's the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday they play the Yankees. And can you imagine what that might be like if the Jays, the Yankees, and the Red Sox are all still neck and neck?
Which I assume they're going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to plan like they're going to be.
Shallow right field. Teoscar Hernandez there. Margot retired, 2 down.
We were talking about how Robbie maintains his strength with his lower legs, and he gets that turn into it. You can watch how he really drives towards home plate. Watch the lower half, how he digs in, turns, and just drives towards home plate. That maintains that speed on that baseball where he doesn't lose anything deep into the ball game. And it's like it's using your legs, taking the pressure off your arm to help you. It's actually easier to throw. He says turning that backside also helps him to stay together and helps him keep his hand on top of the ball. Everything's timing with a pitcher. And his timing this year with his delivery has been impeccable, been perfect.
Stuff's great, and he is throwing it in the strike zone. In his last 7 starts, including today, Robbie Ray has walked 8 and struck out 71.
So is that good?
A strikeout to walk ratio over his last 7 starts of almost 9-1.
9-1. Wow. 3-1 is outstanding.
And with 10 strikeouts today, it's, I think, the 10th time. Yeah, the 10th time this year he's been in double figures in strikeouts. The only other Blue Jay pitcher to have 10 or more 10 strikeout games in a season is Roger Clemens, who did it twice in both of his years with the Blue Jays. Did it 14 times in 1997, 11 times in 1998. Robbie Ray's done it 10 times this year.
And what award did he win after both of those years?
You know what it's called, Tad.
And we're hoping Robbie does it.
Number 11 for Robbie Ray. But you can see some National League baseball. The National League East first place team, the Braves, will host the Colorado Rockies, and it's an early start, noon Eastern, 9 in the morning Pacific time. Atlanta with a 4.5 game lead on the Phillies right now atop the East Division. Bottom 6, 6-1 Blue Jays, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. leads it off against Michael Wacha. Gurriel has grounded out to short and lined out to right. Reaches for it and he fouls it off 0-2.
Thought he had his 20th home run the other day. Kevin Kiermaier went over the fence and brought it back. He needs one more home run. Become the 6th Blue Jay this season with at least 20 home runs and 80 RBIs. Only 4 teams in Major League history have had 6 such players. Last one to do it, the Yankees had 7 in 2009. And it shows you the type of offense that this has been this year for the Blue Jays.
Swing and a miss. 1 down. Well, had Springer been healthy, right, he'd be in the group too.
Gosh, I didn't even think about that. He's got 17, but 37 RBIs. Change up down and away. Gurriel's been hot. Comes up empty that time. 5th strikeout this afternoon for Wacha.
Gurriel sits down. You saw Robbie Ray alongside in the Blue Jay dugout as Randal Grichuk steps in. Ray's at 87 pitches, by the way. Nobody's up in the pen. He's coming back out for the 7th. And if you're Kevin Cash, you probably just keep saying to yourself, man, 7 innings, maybe a run. Seen that act before from Robbie Ray. They've seen it a few times.
Yeah, this is the 5th time that he has pitched against him. And we talked about that at the beginning, that even though it's the 5th time, who gets the advantage? If you make your pitches, you're going to get good hitters out. And Robbie this afternoon has made great pitches. He's won his last 3 starts against Tampa.
Grichuk gets jammed and hits a fly ball to shallow left center, but a Rosarena comes in. 2 down. It's been the top of the order today, really, in the 1st, 3rd, and 5th innings. That's when the Blue Jays have scored their runs. Bo Bichette with a 3-run homer in the 1st, a sac fly in the 3rd. An RBI single in the 5th, and then Teoscar Hernandez with an RBI single as well. From 6 through 9, Wacha's handled all of them. Nobody's been on base 6 through 9. It's all come from 1 through 5 today.
They've been so good at the bottom lately.
Shift on against Jake Lamb. And he fouls back the 0-2. Bichette getting a little info, maybe checking out his earlier at bats.
I think he's going to like what he sees.
Yeah.
That changeup home run he hit in the first inning was a thing of beauty.
Lamb lifts it to left field. Arozarena back and makes the catch on the track. So the Blue Jays go in order through 6-1. In 6 innings, just 1 run, has not walked a batter, has struck out 11. This is the 5th time he has faced Tampa Bay this year. The first one back in April. 6 innings, 3 runs. Since then, 7 innings, 1 run, 7 innings, 2 runs, 7 innings, no runs. And out today, pitching into the 7th. And starting Yandy Diaz with a strike.
He carried that no-no into the 7th inning down in Tampa Bay. That was right before the All-Star break. 11 strikeouts in that day. Blue Jays won that game 3-1.
Wow. 0-2. A little more movement than normal, it looked like, on that slider right there.
Yeah, he doesn't strike out that much either, Yandy Diaz. He was totally fooled.
Got him on 3 pitches, and now Ray has struck out every batter in the Rays lineup at least once.
And if you're wondering what his season high is, he did that against the Chicago White Sox earlier this season. That's also a career high. He's done that a couple of times, 14 of them. What a slider.
Fair ball. Here comes Guerrero. Quick shovel to Ray, who tried to, I think, catch it with his bare hand. Couldn't come up with it. Tricky play on both ends, and it'll be an infield hit for Brandon Lowe.
The Blue Jays have done this, and Robbie has done this a lot of times. Guerrero's got to get over there. Lowe runs really well. Robbie's got to hustle over there. He's going to try and catch it with his bare hand because the throw is a little bit low. And to his left hand, he would have had him if he caught it. It would have been a fantastic play, but that is so difficult for a pitcher to try to run over there, find the baseball, find the bag all at once.
So a man on now for Mike Zunino, who is responsible for the only Rays run today. Hit a home run off Ray back in the 5th inning on a towering fly ball that looked like a routine fly ball to left off the bat. And he hit it off a slider. Ray threw him a number of sliders in succession in the last at bat. We'll see what the game plan is here. Fastball, swing and a miss, 1-1.
That's where it should be, right there. It's going to be tough to double up Zunino, not because he can run, but he just doesn't hit that many ground balls. His whole approach is get the ball up into the air. So the best way to diffuse that is to throw high fastballs.
Shift on the infield. Fastball fouled back, 1-2. Inside, 2-2. He just got Yandy Diaz for number 12. Lowe's at first with a 1 out. Ray hasn't lost much, if anything. That last fastball was 95 on his 95th pitch of the day.
He carries it through his starts. He's going to go right after him again.
Popped up, shallow center. And what a catch! Randal Grichuk racing in and making a great play for the second down.
You got to know that it's going to be your ball. You don't want any kind of collisions out there. And I thought Marcus Semien gave him the go-ahead to get this one. It's going to be hit between Semien and then Grichuk, and then he tells him, I can't get it. He peels out of the way, giving the whole field to Randal Grichuk. And Randal takes it from there.
Outstanding play by Grichuk for the second out of the inning. Nobody loving it more than Robbie Ray. 2 down now. Here's Jordan Luplow, 0 for 2. Slider on the outside corner, a friendly call for Ray. It's 1-1. This one will get out of play, and Robbie Ray about to throw his 100th pitch of the ball game as he tries to finish off Luplow and the Rays here in the 7th.
And he hasn't lost anything. His fastball still has a lot to it. His slider has been dominant. 12 strikeouts.
What an outing this afternoon, and what a season Robbie Ray has had for the Blue Jays.
Not yet.
Understandable. They're excited. Tough behind the plate to see that he fouled it off. Just shows you how into the game and appreciative of the season that Ray has had the fans are here today. Another 1-2 pitch on the way. And this time he got him. 13th strikeout of the afternoon. Secure your access to all 2021 postseason games today with the purchase of 2022 season tickets. Visit BlueJays.com/season tickets to find out more. Huge ovation for Robbie Ray coming off the field after the top of the 7th inning. Big hug for his catcher, Alejandro Kirk. Boy, have those two been working together well. Hug from Vladdy. Pat on the back from Gurriel. Thanks, Randal, for making that great catch. Lots of good vibes. And the new pitcher for Tampa Bay, left-hander Adam Conley. Again, the Blue Jays saw him on a Monday night, went an inning and a third, and gave up a run on a couple of hits. He gave up the home run to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., that screaming liner down the left field line.
Yeah, got about 20 feet off the ground. He was signed by the Rays, minor league free agent in May. Had 27 appearances with their AAA team. Fastball changeup. This is his first big league experience again since 2019.
Grichuk pops one foul out of play to stay alive at 0-2. Springer, excuse me, pops one foul out of play to stay alive at 0-2. Springer will be followed by Marcus Semien and then Vladimir Guerrero here in the bottom of the 7th. With the Blue Jays enjoying a 6-1 lead, looks like Robbie Ray is done. And there is activity in the Blue Jays bullpen. Get to that in a moment. It'll be Joakim Soria in the 8th.
Well, that's exactly what the Jays needed, right? a good pitched game from their starter. Robbie was dominant again. You can see the game face. He's taking that off after a nice 7 innings.
All business until he's taken out of the game, and now it's time to have fun. A little knockout punch from Danny Jansen.
Beautiful.
Three and two on Springer. Springer's flied out, struck out, and then singled and scored. Marcus Semien has got a hit and a walk and a couple of runs scored. He's on deck. Top of the order here with a 5-run lead. Swing and a miss, and Springer down on strikes, 1 down.
When Conley was with the Marlins, thought he had a pretty bright future. Long, lanky, all arms and legs, 96 miles an hour fastball. This might, pitching out of the bullpen might suit him. Pretty good fastball. He gets it by Springer. 1 down.
So now Semien, a walk, a base hit, and a line out to left. As Conley drops one in over the inside corner for a called strike. Oh, and 2. Meanwhile, in Seattle, the Mariners have come back to tie it. They have scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd, so it is 3-3 between the Red Sox and the Mariners. And obviously the Mariners are still in the race, maybe a little bit more on the fringes of it, but if you're a Blue Jays fan, and most people watching this game probably are, they would certainly be rooting for Seattle in that game.
After this series with Boston, they've got a big 10-game road trip. Seattle will get on a plane. They'll go to Kansas City, go to Oakland for 4, and Los Angeles to play the Angels for 3 before coming home and playing Oakland and the Angels to finish up the last week of the season. That's a tough schedule. 10 games in September on the road.
Semien lifts it down the right field line, but foul into the netting. Did you make it to the end of the game last night?
No. I made it to about the 6th, I think. Maybe even the 5th. I got, from you told me you're going to need me today. It's a day game.
Day game after night game.
So I was just following your orders, man.
Get your sleep. The 2-2. And a swing and a miss on a fastball down. Foul tip, and Semien strikes out 2 down.
On 2 strikeouts. He's got some movement on that pitch also. That looks like it's going to be a 4-seam fastball with some cutting action. Mentioned the home run that he gave up to Guerrero. He strikes out the first 2 here. Now he gets another chance at Vladdy.
Guerrero 2 doubles and a walk and a couple of runs scored. Sky high fly ball to shallow right field. And the Blue Jays go 1-2-3 through 7. Blue Jays 6 and the Rays 1. Line of them this season. Robbie Ray 7 innings for the 4th time this year against Tampa Bay. Went 6 innings in the other start. Just 1 run on the home run by Mike Zunino. 13 strikeouts, 1 shy of his season and career high. And again, did not walk a batter as the Blue Jays turn it over to Joakim Soria out of the bullpen. And a first pitch line drive, base hit into center for Taylor Walls.
This is a team, the Tampa Bay Rays, you never feel safe. They have that ability to come back. Walls will start it off with a first pitch fastball from Soria. Just a little get me over 4-seamer. Bangs it right back to the middle.
Now number 9 hitter Brett Phillips. And the Blue Jays caught a break right there. That one was in the dirt, got past Kirk, and it hit the home plate umpire Jeremy Rehak in the ankle, I think. Otherwise, it goes to the backstop.
Yeah, and the double play is taken away from the Blue Jays. They can still get the double play now. That's what Soria needs. Fastball in. You can see Kirk trying to block that one.
You know, to your point about never feeling comfortable late against the Rays, they've scored 290 runs from the 7th inning on, 41 more than the next highest scoring team from the 7th inning on, the Dodgers. So they have far and away done more damage late in games this year than any other team.
And their best inning out of all the innings this season. Which inning do you think they've scored the most runs?
Well, for most teams, it's the first, but it's not going to be the first. What is it?
The 8th.
The 8th, yeah.
105 runs in the 8th inning.
This one gets away, and now Walls will advance on a wild pitch.
He spikes it. He will split his fingers to throw a changeup. At times he spiked that one right into the dirt, and it'll go down as a wild pitch. Walls will move up, and Pete Walker will move to the telephone.
You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet, presented by TD. So a line drive single, falling behind in the count, a wild pitch. See if that gets anybody up in the bullpen. We saw Walker on the phone. Looks like somebody's going to start throwing. And it'll be Trevor Richards starting to throw. So he might come in. Well, he's going to get some company. Tim Mayza's getting up as well. Fly ball right center field, going a long way and gone. Number 12 on the season for Phillips, and it's 6-3.
Something about this team, they can hit when there's the pressure on. They get the first guy on, and then a home run. 8 and 9 touch up Joakim Soria for a couple of runs. They've cut into that lead. And now he's got to face the top of the lineup. 3-2 fastball. You can't walk him. You got to challenge him. He does. There's that power you were talking about earlier. Home run number 12 for Phillips. A long way to right field. I don't want it.
Kid might have wanted it. Just saying. So Pete Walker out to the mound. Now Soria can't be taken out yet, right? 3-batter rule. He's only faced 2, so Pete's out there to buy some time for Richards and Mayza. These were the number 8 and 9 hitters in the Rays lineup who just did the damage and made this a much closer game. Randy Arozarena 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Trevor Richards has a chance to pitch against his former team, which he did on Monday night, won an inning in that game. Inside, 1-1.
Arozarena's got some bat speed. You saw that in the playoffs last year. They couldn't hold him down. Figure out how you're going to get him out. It might be up and in because he can hit the ball as far as anybody.
And a call at the bottom of the zone. Arozarena's not happy at all, and it's 1-2. And the Rays dugout is not happy either.
That's why. All looked like it might have been low.
Pitch misses low, and it's now 2-2 on a Rosarena. Soria still looking for his first out here in the 8th inning, and no matter what happens here, it might be Trevor Richards' time right after this batter. Drop down a little bit there.
Yeah, he will do that just to give you something else to look at. He'll throw a fastball at times there. He'll throw a slider when he drops down. He's also got that real slow curveball that's been effective for him.
2-2 again. Sweeping curveball outside, full count. Soria, 37 years of age, started his big league career in 2007. At this point, he is about arm angles, changing speeds. He's got to locate very well. Got him. Splitter there to get him one down.
Every local family-owned Home Hardware supports the specific needs of their community because that's what being locally owned, genuinely Canadian is all about.
8th inning here at the ballpark with the Blue Jays leading the Rays, but it's now down to 6-3. Joakim Soria just got the first out in the 8th inning, and he will stay to face Manuel Margot. Margot 1 for 3, had a double back in the 4th. Fastball up, and it's 1-1.
It's a situation now after those first two batters scored. Charlie Montoyo might be going batter to batter here. He struck out that last batter, so he's going to let him face another one.
Ground ball to third. And a big second out here in the 8th inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. A great day for Robbie Ray, a big day for Bo Bichette. And it is 6-3 Blue Jays, bottom 8. 2 down for Nelson Cruz. Oh, 0-2.
Soria's faced Cruz a lot from their American League Central days. He's had 16 at-bats against Joakim, 4 hits, 2 of them have been long home runs. Keep throwing him that slop.
Missed outside with a fastball, a ball and 2 strikes. And P. Walker not happy. September's stressful, huh? Exciting but stressful. Out of play.
Fun.
Uh-huh.
Fun for fans, fun for us to be a part of this. You're right, it can be stressful. Every pitch means something.
Somehow got a piece of that 12-6 curveball.
Yeah, he can throw it even slower than that. It's almost like an eephus pitch. Can really throw off the timing of those batters. Cruz waits back though.
And a breaking ball sent to left field. Gurriel's got room. And the side is retired. 6-3 going to the bottom of the 8th. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Once again, here are Jamie and Joe.
thanks to Bo Bichette. A couple of runners on. Change up, down and in. See you later. Home run number 25. StatCast powered by Google Cloud. 377 feet later. Bo's going to circle the bases with that 25th home run. He would also add a sacrifice fly and another RBI single for a big day. And he's got one more crack at it here in the 8th inning.
Really nice, lively crowd this afternoon at Rogers Center. 6-3 Blue Jays, bottom of the 8th. Dan Shulman, Pat Tabler, Hazel May. And second appearance of the series, second appearance of the season for Nick Anderson, a guy who has been so good for the Rays last year, more in the regular season than the postseason, and also after the trade with the Marlins in 2019. And they're just trying to get him back up to speed and see how much he can help them heading into October. Breaking ball for a strike to Bichette.
When he is on, he is as dominant as he can be. He's been battling that slightly torn UCL muscle or ligament in his elbow. And the fastball, when he's on again, it's 98, 99 miles an hour with a yellow hammer breaking ball. So they are just trying to get him in the shape. They're going to use the rest of September to see if he's going to be okay. Put him on the playoff roster.
In 2019, split between the Marlins and the Rays, Anderson struck out 110 batters in 65 innings. And again, had a great regular season last year. It looked like he just kind of got worn down in the playoffs. Pitched a lot, and by the time it got around to the World Series, he just wasn't the same guy again, and was giving it up a little bit more than he did during the regular season.
You know, when you get to the playoffs, the good news is you're in the playoffs. The bad news is you got all those innings you have to cover. You're basically playing another month of baseball, and that can really wear down a pitching staff. You do that for a couple of seasons, it puts a lot of wear and tear on your arms.
Another 1-2 pitch to Bo. And a fly ball to center, but it is playable. Phillips there, one down. Again, no Blue Jays tomorrow. You've got the Braves game at noon Eastern, and then you've got the Astros and the Rangers at 8 o'clock. Houston seemingly on its way to the postseason. They are the leaders in the American League West. 6.5 up on Seattle. A team to keep an eye on. Here's Teoscar Hernandez. Teoscar 1 for 3, had an RBI single back in the 5th inning. Or RBI number 103 on the season, tying him with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for the team lead. Big cut, 1-1. Three-run lead at this point, and we'll see how the Blue Jays decide to play it in the 9th. Tim Meza has been up. Jordan Romano is throwing right now. Might depend on whether or not they add to the lead. If it's 3, you got to believe it's going to be Romano coming in.
Yeah, and just in case, I mean, if they throw a 3 spot up there, a good time to just give your closer another day. And you don't have to start with him. You can start with somebody else. And if they get in trouble, then you've got Jordan to back him up.
Swing and a miss. 2 down.
You mentioned all the strikeouts from Nick Anderson, 110 a couple of seasons ago. And he's got that high octane fastball, and he's got a great curveball. There it is right there, right over the top. Pick up his first strikeout this afternoon.
Now Alejandro Kirk. He is 0 for 3, but again, behind the plate in another Robbie Ray start. It's almost every time. that they are together. And obviously Robbie Ray's having an incredible season, and he deserves all the credit in the world for that. But you got to give Kirk a little credit for seamlessly being on the same page with Ray. Remember, Ray caught him last year, right when Kirk came up. Kirk caught Ray last year, right when Kirk came up, and Ray right away said he was terrific back there. And Ray has had no issues at all with Alejandro Kirk behind the plate.
And Robbie says that after every one of his games, when Kirk catch him, he said he did a heck of a job back there. We were on the same page. I didn't have to shake him off many times. He follows the game plan. He likes throwing to him. He gives a good target. All of those things. So for a young player, he has really come a long way, I think, defensively.
Blue Jays trying to work 3 different catchers through a rotation right now. Looks like Ji-Man Choi's getting ready for some action in the 9th inning. Clubbed to right center field, but playable again for Phillips, and the Blue Jays go 1-2-3. So it is on to the 9th with a 3-run lead. Find fabulous for less.
Robbie Ray started this afternoon's game for the Blue Jays, struck out the first 2 batters he faced, struck out the side in the 3rd inning, had 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. All told, 13 strikeouts in 7 innings. Yeah, and the knockout punch delivered this afternoon by Robbie Ray, our winning moment. What a start for him.
9th inning. Blue Jays 6, Rays 3. As the Blue Jays try to take the series from Tampa Bay, get back to their winning ways. And with a 3-run lead, it is Jordan Romano into the game for the 9th.
7 wins out of the bullpen, 17 saves, 5 holds, a .245 earned run average. He last pitched on Saturday in that 11-10 win against Baltimore Orioles. Came in through an inning, had 15 pitches. He's been very efficient lately. He's been using his fastball very effectively.
Defensive changes. Gerard Dyson into the game in center. Randal Grichuk moves to right. Teoscar Hernandez from right to left. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. out of the game. And strike 1 to Yandy Diaz. 4, 5, 6 in the Rays order coming up. Diaz, Lau, and Zunino scheduled against Romano in the 9th. Slider in the dirt, 1-1.
Jordan has pitched against Tampa Bay 6 times this season. 5 1/3 innings. He's had 5 walks to go along with 6 strikeouts. Got to get that first guy.
3 balls and a strike. Choi definitely getting ready. Probably
Luplow.
for Luplow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the 4th batter. Remember, they got Austin Meadows on the bench too. Joey Wendell on the bench. Ground ball to short. Bichette. 1 down. Well, there was a time when Jordan Romano was a starting pitcher, like just about every pitcher, but boy, does he give off the reliever vibe, doesn't he, when he's on the mound and coming in from the dugout. I mean, he's got that 9th inning glare going, doesn't he?
Yeah, I love it. Just look at the eyes. That's a guy who's ready to go to battle. That's what he likes to do. Go to battle. And he goes to that battle with a pretty good fastball. We've seen it hit triple digits this season.
Is Brandon Lau. Lau 1 for 3 with an infield hit and a couple of strikeouts today. Got a couple of home runs in his career off Romano in 5 career at bats.
The last one was in the Robbie Ray game right before the All-Star break. They went to that 9th inning with a 3-run lead. Brandon Lau took him deep with 1 out to right field. The only scoring Tampa Bay did that afternoon. Romano picked up save number 7 in that game.
It's kind of amazing when you look at his numbers, and you talked about it when he came in, 17 out of 18 in save opportunities this year. That's a very small number for a closer on a team that has won as many games as the Blue Jays have. But the offense at times has been so good, they have won by large margins. He hasn't had a ton of save situations relative to other frontline closers. 18
opportunities, but remember, he didn't get the closer's job really until maybe June, maybe early July.
Blows him away, 2 down.
Third time this afternoon, Blue Jays have struck out Brandon Lowe. This is a well-placed 98-mile-an-hour fastball in the outside corner, unhittable. That's where you want to pitch him to get outs.
So the Blue Jays an out away. It'll be Zunino. Popped him up. Simeon is there. And the Blue Jays win it. They bounce back from last night's defeat to win the series. The Blue Jays have now won 13 of their last 15, and at the moment they're a half game ahead of both the Yankees and the Red Sox.
When you go into these types of series, I'm talking about the first place team in September, you're going for a pennant. First thing you want to do, win the series. Mission accomplished. You'd love to sweep it, but they win the series. Bo Bichette has a big day, driving in 5 runs. Charlie Montoyo's team will enjoy an off day before they welcome in Minnesota. Just keep winning. That's all you got to be thinking about right now if you're the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays will see the Rays again next week. A good series for them here against Tampa Bay. Right now, 6-3 the final at Rogers Center. Let's send it to Tim McAuliffe.